All right, so the next game we're going to talk about is the Vegas dice game.
Woohoo!
It's also called Las Vegas Dice. And so it's ages 8 and up, 2 to 5 players, 30 minutes. It's rated 7.1 out of 10 on Board Game Geek. Its overall rank is 478 out of over 15,000 games that are ranked. And its family rank is quite well received at 86 out of 1,680 family games. So we got this at Target.
You have like what, $10?
Yeah, at half off. Yeah, let's try it. I think it's a Target exclusive, and you can get the Las Vegas version, but I don't know if you have to import it in from Europe. But we did get the expansion, which we'll talk about. That did have to come from Europe. It is not carried here. Ravensburger has the license, but for some reason they licensed it to Target. So that's why you're going to see different pictures for it.
Well, I thought it was fun getting a Las Vegas game when we live in Las Vegas.
Right. So let's talk about how the game is played. Each player gets so many dice in their color. So here's the blue player. That's Julie's favorite color.
Yes, it is.
So the blue player will have 8, and then you'll see that depending on the number of players, they'll also get what are called neutral dice, which is for a neutral player. So what happens is on your turn you roll all the remaining dice that you have. So let's say blue rolls their dice. And again, I know this is not ideal. Oh, by the way, I should point out the object of the game is to try to win these cards. And you win these cards if, for instance, I'm red and I have 2 dice here and blue has 1 die. Notice that the dice faces matches the card. And so I have 2 dice versus 1 die, and therefore I would get the $70,000 card, and blue would get the $30,000. Now let's say neutral had 2 white dice there. That means that I do not get anything because we tied, and blue, Julie, would get the $70,000, and the $30,000 would not remain. So again, the basic object of the game is to get the most dice. So on your turn, if blue were to roll this, what you're going to do is you're going to group your dice. And so if you do, for instance, place the 5, the white dice must come with it. So you may end up, that was a 1, in a situation where I really want to go for the 3s, but I'm taking the risk of putting a white die here, which the other players can add another white die to basically tie. So if I were to roll a 3 later on and put that there, that means blue's not getting anything. So let's say blue did that. Blue would pick up all their dice, and on next turn they would roll. But it's red's turn because I'm modeling a 2-player game here. And again, I would group it. I could go for 3s if I want to, but I'm going to go for a different color entirely. Since the 90,000 is on the 2s, I'm going to go for that. And so you keep on rolling until you've spent all your dice, and then you compare who has the most dice on each card, and you try to win cards, and you do this 3 rounds.
I thought it was 4 rounds.
Oh, yeah, 4 rounds.
Yeah.
My mistake.
That's okay.
So here's the playback, and this is the very beginning of the game, and Julie's about ready to roll her dice. So tell me what you're doing here, Julie.
Well, right now I am matching up all my numbers, grouping them all together so I can see what I have the most of. Excuse me. And then once I've done that, then I want to then look at the cards again, see what I want to go for. I really don't want to do all the 4s because then I would lose all those dice. I wouldn't be able to roll them anymore. They're committed. So I want to...
So that's one of the strategies, is not to overcommit too many dice early on.
Right. And so I'm just trying to decide, okay, what the heck should I pick? And I picked number 5. So I only had to commit 2 dice, and I'm still left with quite a few dice left to place. And the white ones I want to save as long as I can so I can hopefully mess with David and make it so he can't get something and I can, or make it so he can't get anything at all and I get more and then I win that round.
So you see that I put a 4 there. I could have put a lot of dice in different spots, but I'm trying to save my dice. Ideally, you want to have a bunch of dice left towards the end of a round when your opponent doesn't have many dice, which allows you to do surprise moves.
Yep, exactly. So go ahead.
So, Julie, you went for the 2s there.
Yes.
And unfortunately, you had to put a white 2 there as well.
I did, duck on it. But that's, it's a risk you play, and it's, it's not a big deal. Sometimes it doesn't matter if you only have one white there because no one else will be able to roll that number anyway, and you can still end up winning that.
So I committed a white 3 there because no one's going for it, but I wanted to, again, save as many of my red dice for later rolls.
Exactly.
So you see I have 7 dice left, and Julie only has 4 of her dice left,
Yep.
not including the white ones. So she went for the 1 there.
Right. Because I'm trying to hold off as long as I can to keep as many dice available to me as possible and keep hoping he rolls a big group of numbers that are all the same, so he has to use them all.
Now, one thing I didn't mention, you'll see, why do some cards have more money? When you set up the game, you always have to have at least 50,000 or more of valued cards. So if you see on the number 6 there, it looks like there's a 20, a 10, a 10, and a 10. I'm having trouble seeing it from here. Let me take a closer look. Yes. And that's because I needed to keep on placing cards during the setup that equaled at least 50,000. So even though there's only 2 of us playing, and there's a neutral player, only 3 of those 4 cards could possibly be won.
Correct.
So Julie's in a situation she doesn't have a lot of dice left.
No, I'm pretty much in bad shape.
Well, we'll see what happens here. I don't remember how you did this round.
I don't remember. I think I ended up winning the whole game, though.
No, I think I won this game
Did you?
by like 60,000
Ah, jeez. What
after
else
4
is
rounds.
new?
But you see right there on the number 2 card, there's 2 neutral dice, 2 white dice, and Julie's 2 blue dice. So she's tied with the neutral player. So I'm winning that card right now with just 1 die.
Yes, you are. I just have to hope I could get another 2 and take that away from you.
So now I just messed you up on 1. I placed
Yep.
that 1 white die there to tie you, so you won't win anything.
I think I did really bad this round. I think you took everything from me. I don't think I won anything this round.
So again, I'm in a good position where I have a lot of dice left,
That's right.
and you only have a neutral die left.
Right. Right.
So this is a great position to be in the game, where Julie's committed all of her dice, and now I can hopefully,
just all you.
Yeah, depending on what I roll, I can do upsets.
Oh, heck yeah. And the thing is, you have to play all your dice.
Right. So with neutral dice too. So if I roll, see how I'm not even Julie's not rolling anymore. She has no dice.
Right. But in the end, you have to place, like if you ended up with 3 6s, you have to place all 3 6s.
Correct.
Even if you don't want to go there, you still have to.
So notice I just won the 1s, and now I just
You
won the 2s.
Yep.
And I have to place that no matter what. And
you
so I
lost
had to
it. put
that on the 3.
Right.
It was a wasted play,
Unfortunately for
unfortunately.
you. Yeah.
So now I'm showing here who won each. So I won the 1s and the 2s.
Yes.
No one
Won the 3s.
neutral won the 3.
Right.
No, we have almost had that happen where the neutral player actually wins the game.
Yeah. Because you do put their cards aside, and they do get counted at the end of the game.
No, I won the 4. Now
Oh, I
Julie
actually
did.
won
Yeah,
something.
Julie did win the 5s.
Woo!
And neutral is going to get the best card there. Neutral is going to get the 20, and
And I
Julie
get
will
the
get the
10.
10 because she came in second place.
Right.
So that is Vegas Dice. It's a very easy to teach game. So
so
tell us what
easy.
you think of the game, Julie.
Well, one of my favorite things to do is roll dice. So this is like my ultimate game because I get to roll dice all game. It's super fun. Because you do roll dice, so it is very much luck driven. You don't always get what you're hoping for. So that, plays a role. I do enjoy playing just with David, but I do find it's really fun when you have more than 2 players because it just gets really cutthroat. It's really fun. I do like the bright colors. I think that just really adds to the game. And like David said, it's super easy to teach and play. It takes no time at all you can teach it, in less than 5 minutes?
Oh, yeah,
it's,
easily.
It's really
Yeah.
easy for me to be able to teach, which is good for me. If I'm not playing with David and I'm not playing with other friends, that I can be like, okay, this is how you do it, and you're ready to rock and roll really quick.
In fact, we've taught it where to say, just roll your dice, and I'll teach you
Right.
after you roll your dice.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like to teach games as quick as possible. So for me, it's a light dice game. There are heavier dice games which we'll review that is a little bit more complicated. This is just the right amount of filler. And low frustration in terms of a dice game. There's enough options for you that you don't feel as frustrated. Now, it can happen at the end when you only have a few dice left and you don't
Yeah.
roll well, but you have a lot of choices at first, so that's why it's less frustrating.
Right. Right.
And so it's easy to teach and play. There is some player interaction because, like you said, how you use a neutral dice and how you try to position yourself to have the most dice at the end of a round, so that way you can do upsets. But however, there's no luck mitigation. And in some dice game, like, you're able to do so many rerolls that round. Like if you play King of Tokyo, you can roll up to 3 times. Whereas this game is you roll it once and you're basically stuck with what you have.
Right.
And so that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's all right. So you need to understand that there's not much mechanics to mitigate bad rolls.
But at least you get to re-roll your dice at the beginning of each of your turn. So if you rolled really yucky that time before, it comes around to your turn again. Oh, I get to re-roll and hopefully get something better.
Right.
So,
But again, you can roll really bad, and say you
yes.
you have 6 dice and you roll 5 fives out of 6.
It's happened.
You got to either place the 6 or you place all 5 of those 5s.
Right.
So that can happen.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at how we rated it.
I did a 9 because I just so love this game again because it's the dice. I love rolling the dice. That's my big. I think that's probably my big thing is I just love rolling the dice and grouping them and trying to get the best, biggest numbered card so I can hopefully, beat David at something.
Yeah, and then I rated it an 8, which is very high. So we teach this to a lot of people, and we've played 17 times since November. And the reason why we got November again, it was that Black Friday, pre-Black Friday special, and we tried it for 50% off.
It was great. Goodbye.
So anyway, so that's Vegas Dice, and we'll talk about the next game here in a moment.
Sounds great. See you in a second.